In this video, we're going to be multiplying polynomials, and we're going to be using the FOIL method. So FOIL stands for the F is first, the O is outer or outside, the I is inner or inside, and the L is last. So that's just going to tell us the order that we're going to multiply our terms. So the F first, that means we're going to multiply our first term in each of our sets of brackets. We're going to multiply those two terms together, okay? So 3x times x is simply 3x squared. Now, we've done the F, we move on to the O. So the O is outer or outside, so that means the outer terms in each set of brackets. So that would be 3x times negative 10. Okay, so 3x times negative 10 is simply negative 30x. Okay, now in FOIL, we've gotten to the I, and I is the inner terms. Okay, so the inner terms are this plus 5 and this x. Okay, so we need to multiply these two terms. So 5 times x is simply positive 5x. And our last term, we need to multiply the lasts. Okay, so the last terms in each set of brackets. So that will be the 5 needs to be multiplied by this negative 10. Okay, so positive 5 times negative 10 is negative 50. Now, we're not done. Okay, we need to simplify by grouping together our like terms. Okay, so what we do is we're going to look at the four terms we have and see if any of them are similar terms. Our first term, we notice we have an x squared in it. When we look at our other terms, none of them have an x squared. Okay, so there's nothing to simplify or group together there, so we can just copy that down. So 3x squared. Now let's look at our second term, negative 30x. Let's look at the following terms. Do we have any other terms that have an x in it? Well, our very next term, our third term, is positive 5x. Okay, so they have the same variable to the same power. We don't see a power there, which means there's an implied 1. So we could put a 1, but we don't need to write it. So since the variable is the same, has the same exponent, we can add these terms together. Okay, we can combine them. Now let's just double check our last term. It's just minus 50. It has no variable. Okay, so we can't combine that with these two other terms. Okay, so let's go ahead and combine minus 30x with a plus 5x. Okay, and when we combine those two terms, we end up with a minus or a negative 25x. Okay, so all we're doing is we're adding the number element, okay, the negative 30 and the positive 5. We're just adding those together. That gives us negative 25. And our variable, our x, just stays the same. Okay, we've dealt with the first three terms. All we have left now is the fourth term. Okay, we have nothing left to try to group it with, so we just need to copy it, minus 50. Okay, so that's how we can use the FOIL method to multiply polynomials. Okay, just one last time, the F stands for firsts, so we multiply the first terms in each of the two brackets together. That gives us our first term. O stands for outer or outside, which means we multiply the two outer terms. So the first term in the first bracket and the second term in the second bracket. Multiply those together. That gives us our second term. The I represents inner or inside. So we multiply the two inside terms. So the second term in the first bracket and the first term in the first bracket. That gives us our third term. And finally, for our fourth term, it's the lasts. Okay, so it's the last term or the second term in our first bracket and in our second bracket. We multiply those two together. That gives us our fourth term. then all we need to do is simplify by grouping our like terms together. So our answer is 3x squared minus 25x minus 50. If you would like to learn how to quickly study for your GED exam online and get a new resume, then visit testprepskills.com.